2021, non-stop minting of unicorns, huh? We got 18 unicorns in 2021. Today, meet the 18th unicorn. It is OfBusiness. Joining me live right here is the co-founder, Ruchi Kalra. Ruchi, thanks so much for joining us here on ET Now. First up, a big congratulations to you, your co-founders, the entire team at OfBusiness. How does it feel? How important a milestone was this?
Thank you so much for your wishes. I think along with the congratulations, wish us all the best so that we can continue to deliver this kind of a value for all our shareholders, all our customers, as well as all our employees as well. And it feels good. We are very excited about for SoftBank to be coming on board. They are a great investor, and I think it just strengthens the capital of the company. And more importantly, it is a testament of global interest in the B2B space itself. So very good for the ecosystem, great for the company, and look forward to delivering a lot more value.
Okay. So now let's just take up on that. I noticed one phrase that you said adds value to shareholders as well. So can I ask you nowadays, the most important milestone after becoming a unicorn is listing. Is that anywhere on the horizon? I'm asking you because, these days primary markets are certainly so hot and such a big buzzword.
Yeah, so I think since inception, our thought process was very clear in terms of building a profitable business, building something that was accruing value. And from that thought process, it was clear that this company actually has to go in for listing at some point in time, right? And if you look at it, we have targeted both growth, we've actually balanced it with profitability. And from that mindset, yes, listing will be on the cards. Not right now. I think for the next 2 years or so, we want to keep our heads down completely towards execution. That's what we are known for in the market, and that's what drives us day in, day out. And execute to a plan that we have laid down for ourselves, and be prepared for going public maybe in 2.5 years. That would be the timeline for us.
So you're in a whole bunch of other places. You started off as a B2B marketplace, but you're in SaaS, you're in lending, all of that. And I'd like to pick up on that. While you talk about global investors' interest in B2B, my question to you also is, that's a trend that started earlier in 2021. You gained from it. In April, you were valued at $800 million. You've almost doubled that valuation. Some of the unicorns that have been minted this year, from an infra market to a Moglix, and now to you. B2B has certainly emerged as one of the big trends of 2021. Would you agree?
That's right. And there are various reasons for that. And we believe that this is really the time for B2B disruption. India has been a market for intermediaries, right, in the B2B space. And the disruption has become even more evident because if you look at it, the tailwinds are there for the B2B space. If you look at COVID, the sectors which actually bounced back the fastest was essentially manufacturing and infrastructure, right? So the tailwinds are towards the core sectors of the economy. And second thing, if you look at it from an investment thesis perspective, B2B compared to a B2C space has a faster line of sight for profitability. For example, if you look at OfBusiness itself, it has been profitable for the last 4 years in existence, right? Last year, we made a profit of 75 crores as a group. Overall, if you look at commerce as a growth engine, we did close to around 2,200 crores in the last year, which was essentially only 7 months of business time. And if you look at this month itself, which is just went by, we did 500 crores in terms of transaction just on the commerce piece, right? So I think the opportunity set is huge. There are tailwinds in the B2B space in terms of growth, with the focus on manufacturing as well as infrastructure as a sector. And in addition, there is a lot of interest because of the profitable play that is possible in the B2B space.
But I also want to ask you that when it comes to B2B, and like I said, this has been a big buzzword of 2021. We've seen new unicorns being minted, but it's also caught the fancy of the likes of Mukesh Ambani's Reliance Industries, of Amazon, of Flipkart. How are you going to compete with all of them?
So firstly, B2B is a very large space. And some of the names that you mentioned actually have a very different target segment and a very different business model. So to think of it, some of these names are in the finished goods segment, selling to wholesaler and distributors, right? Our space is more in terms of saying that we're going to go to the manufacturers, subcontractors, infra guys, and actually give them raw materials. Some of these raw materials will translate into finished goods products, which some of these names would be then selling further in the B2B space, right? And for off business, the idea is to actually be on the raw material side, which is an input towards, you could say, manufacturing as fabrication or the infrastructure space.
And from a sense of what you're saying, what I'm picking up is that this is not a winner-take-all market. It's a many winner will take market.
So you could say that
That's
the
the biggest
opportunity is
sense I got.
huge. Yeah. So opportunity is huge in terms of number of value chains are so deep that each person can actually, or each institution can pick up a value chain, say chemicals, and go deep into it, right? What we have chosen is twofold. We have actually said that we'll be on horizontal, which will have multi brands, multi-products, multi-SKUs. So that becomes a more of a horizontal play across categories, which could range from, as I have mentioned, a few categories, which are industrial steel to down to agri. So that's one thing. Second important thing is that if you look at us, we've not limited ourselves just to commerce. We have a unique proposition, which is a combination of commerce plus financing that enables that commerce, along with SaaS products, which actually lead to that commerce. So it's more full stack approach, which actually makes us quite unique. And how we have built each of these businesses are, each of them are profitable and standalone in themselves, right? So that's the uniqueness, two-part uniqueness to OfBusiness.
And this money that you're raising, what are you going to do with all of this? You're talking to me a lot and very passionately about value chain, and I can make out that may be the differentiator that you have here. Or, I'm sure every player talks about the value chain being a differentiator. Is that what you're going to plow all the funds in?
So our journey so far has been very capital efficient in the way we have built the business, right? With minimal equity capital, actually leveraging. So, for example, our NBFC itself is levered 3:1x, and we raised close to 1,200 crores in debt alone last year, right? So, for us, the equity capital that we are raising is focused primarily towards growth. We have maintained on commerce a 3 to 4x growth year on year. As we grow further, we will be actually targeting to invest into supply chains, go deeper into it, geographically expand our segments, and also look at specific acquisition targets so that we have proprietary supply and licenses as we build the scale in commerce alone, right? And on NBFC as well. Obviously, it will be a combination of both equity and debt, but we look to expand to various other financial services as well that we will add to our forte. But yes, money has never been used for burning in our parlance, so it will be primarily for growth.
Are you saying you're one of those rare unicorns, a profitable unicorn?
Yes, so just sharing numbers, last year we did a profit of around 77 crores. As a bottom line, profit before tax. Year before that was close to around 45 crores. This year we intend to be around overall, you could say, commerce volumes of close to around 10,000 crores with a bottom line of around 350 crores plus.
So you are one of those rare unicorns, which is already profitable. I think you'll be the second unicorn this year, which is profitable. Digit, in the insurance space was also profitable when it got the unicorn tag. But Ruchi, if you would allow me to also make another observation, which is that, and one of your co-founders had given an interview talking about how M&As is going to play a big role going forward. Anything that you can throw light on that front?
Yeah, so as we are growing, it's important that we have a much more meaningful role to play in each of the supply chains. And as we are looking to go deeper into each of the supply chains, we will be looking at M&A as an opportunity, which essentially frees us from being prisoners of what we offer today. There will be more value addition, there'll be a lot more control of the supply, and we wanted to do it in selective segments. So OfBusiness has already emerged as leaders in supply chains like industrial chemicals or agri, or for that matter, petroleum derivatives or industrial steel. So in select of these supply chains, we will actually up what we offer, and in terms of value addition as well as more proprietary supply. And that's the idea behind the M&A.
Fair point. Now, you're already a rare unicorn for being profitable, and woman to woman, I hate to say this, but our representation in the startup ecosystem is not great. There have been reports that come out that how in 2021 funding to women entrepreneurs, women-led startups has also come down. I know you're not a women-led organization and all of that, but you are a female co-founder. And we just have a handful of those who have gone on to become unicorns. Do you recognize that you're one of those rare women entrepreneurs in the startup universe who's now also part of the co-founding team of a unicorn?
So I've had the privilege of actually seeing a lot of women in action at work as fellow entrepreneurs or in leadership positions. And honestly, what they bring to bear is amazing in terms of balance, in terms of leadership skills, creativity, detail orientation, determination, and so on and so forth, right? And their stories are equally inspirational. And when I listen to those stories, it just makes me feel that we have actually come a long way. I know statistics might say what they say, but it's a collective responsibility of the ecosystem to actually move the needle on those statistics. But if you actually listen to some of the stories, it just feels that both professionally as well as in terms of family support has actually come a long way over the years. Like in my case, I am where I am because essentially of the entire support that I've got from my family, as well as at work, right? I was 9 months, I was expecting when we actually started, right? So the kind of support that came from the co-founders at that point in time was very essential to the start. And if I look at the journey over the last 6 years at OfBusiness itself, and I look at men and women coming together, people from different education backgrounds coming together, different family backgrounds coming together, one of the important learnings has been that each individual gets a different skill set. And when you put all these skill sets together and then you give a voice to each of these skill sets, it actually leads to value creation, because individually, nobody is complete, right? And these skill sets are as important, and the team is more important than the individual. And on that note, I would actually like to give a big shout out to each OFBN, as we call it, and their families who have actually supported them. And that's the reason we are where we are as the milestone. And whenever we reach a milestone, we say that now let us target the next milestone, and hence we call it on to next.
This is a conversation we need to have in more detail. So Ruchi, here's an open invitation. Let's come back on Startup Central. I'll get some other co-founders of unicorns, Sunicorns, and let's discuss how we can actually make the startup ecosystem more inclusive. With that, I'd like to thank you for taking the time out and joining us live today on ET Now. Congratulations once again.